Okay, now I would like to explain about statistics and how to analyze it as the requirement for statistics subject. Okay, now we continue to the next page. Stylistic itself derives from two words. There are style and linguistics. Okay, so just because it's made from two words, so the stylistic itself is a branch of linguistics which studies style in a scientific and systematic way concerning the manners or linguistic features of different varieties of language at different levels. So, for the varieties of language and different level itself, we will explain further. We continue to the next slide. So, after we have been known that stylistic itself derived from style and linguistic, we have to know about the concept of style itself. Actually, there are three concepts of styles. First one is a person's distinctive language habits are the set of individual characteristics of the language used. An example is Hemingway styles, Henry James styles, Mark Twain styles, and etc. And the second concept is some or of the language habits shared by a group of people at one time or over a period of time. An example is Elizabethan style, the style of legal documents and the style of news reporting. So as we know that different legal document has different formats. Also for the news reporting format, it has their own characteristic of each, and we can say that's the styles of them. Okay, the style of them, and it can categorize as the concept of style itself. Next is a characteristic of good or beautiful literary writing. So, as we know, or maybe we've been familiar with the some characteristics of literary writings like our ornate style, touch style, or plain style. Then, based on all of the third three concepts, we can make a definition of style itself. So the definition of style is manner indicating prominent linguistics, features, devices, or patterns must or least frequently occur in a particular text of a particular variety of language. So that's the definition of style. After we can understand about the concept of style itself, now we are going to the concept of stylistics. So the stylistic itself is a discipline that studies the ways in which language is used. It is a discipline that studies the styles of language in use. The second concept of stylistic. Stylistic is a branch of linguistics which applies the theory and methodology of modern linguistics to the study of style. And then, after we give you the definition, the concept of styles, and the stylistic itself, we continue to the scope of the study. The scope of studies consists of two. It distinguishes as the literary stylistic and general stylist. So, what that contrast distinguishes or differences between literary stylistic and generalized stylistic. Literary stylistic concentrating on the unique features of various literary works, such as poem, novel, prose, and drama. Meanwhile, general stylistics concentrating on the general features of various types of language use, including literary discourses and other practical styles. The example of general stylistic itself consists of some examples like genres, attitudes, media of communications, regions, and social groups. So based on the genre, we can give you some examples like a news reports, advertisement, public speeches, scientific treatises, legal documents, and other practical stuff. And then from the epithets, we can see from the formal and informal language. For media of communication, it might be a spoken language or the writing English or the ED courses. And then, based on the regions, it could be used British English, American English, Australian English, and other regional dialects until we continue to the last general stylistic. It's social groups where we had standard or non-standard language used. So, we already comes to the stylistic analysis. Before we analyze the stylistics of something, we have to know what is the objective of the stylistic analysis. The first objective is identify the levels of stylistic analysis, derive meaning from a selected literary text using stylistic, and appreciate the importance of stylistic in analyzing literary texts. After the objective, so we can come to the aim. The aim is to analyze the internal structure of sentences in a language and the way they function in sequences, clauses, phrases, words, nouns, verbs, etc. need to be distinguished and put through an analysis to find out the foregrounding and the deviations. So, what is the foregrounding? Foregrounding itself means likely giving unusual prominence to one element of or property of a text relative to other less noticeable aspects. So, and then, foregrounding is realized by linguistics deviations and linguistic parallelism. So, each foregrounding should be divided into which is consists of deviation and parallelism. Now, this is in the opening we have been known that the meaning of the stylistic itself affected by the different kinds of stylistic and the levels of language itself. So what are they? First one is phonology, morphology, lexical analysis, grammar, syntax, semantic, graphology, pragmatic or discourse analysis. So we've been known we want to analyze something, we have to see them from the different aspects from this 7th part. Okay, this one the further information of the different kinds of the linguistics. So, what's the using of stylistic analysis? According to McIntyre, there are a few points to consider or a set of questions to answer while analyzing a text from a stylistic perspective. So before we want to analyze something or if we already analyze one text, so we have this basic question like the first: does the text contain some striking irregularities of form in comparison to traditional texts that are within the same genre? The second one: are there deviant grammatical or graphological elements? And then, despite all deviant characteristics, is there order in text? And then, how about the text phonological qualities? Are some sounds repeated? Are there some sounds missing? The fifth question: are there neologism or outward word usage? Does the author use jargon, slang, or standard language? And the last one: what kind of feeling do the verbs give? By looking at the verbs, do you get the feeling of the past or do they point at ongoing activity? So, it will analyze again the questions. All of these questions actually already covered the different kinds of stylistic and levels of language. It might be asking about its phonological, about its morphological, about the semantic, graphology, discourse analysis, and else. To be simple, it might be can set about asking about the sense, asking about the meaning, asking about the relationship between one word and another. So to get it, the logic of the analysis of the stylistic, we have to using these 6 questions to support our analysis of stylistic analysis. I'm sorry. Okay, that's all for me. Thank you.